In the early 1980s, the Tulalip Indian Reservation was facing tough times. A poor economy and low fish runs, the tribe broadened its business reach and decided to branch out into bingo. The goal of this new endeavor was survival, and the proceeds from bingo were to improve housing, education, and health and social services for the tribe. 39 years later, bingo still plays a part for Tulalip. One tribal member who has been part of bingo from the beginning is Tammy Taylor. Hibulb Conversations had a chance to visit with Tammy and hear her story. Hi, I'm Michelle Hernandez and welcome to Hibulb Conversations. With us today is Tammy Taylor. Welcome, Tammy.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. You are currently the Bingo and Slots Director for Tulalip Bingo. When bingo was first brought to the reservation, it was a huge step for the tribe. You've been a part since it opened in 1983. Let's get to know you first before we get into Tulalip Bingo. Will you tell us about your family?
Well, my name's Tammy Taylor. I'm married to Lance Taylor. We've been married for 38 years. My grandparents are Bernice Williams Sheldon, and my grandfather was Walter Sambo Alexander, and we called him Sambo. And my dad was Warren Alexander. My mom is Leora Vandertye, and I have three children, Tara, Ryan, and Joseph, and I have 6 beautiful grandchildren.
Tell me where you grew up.
Oh, that's okay.
All the places.
I did. I went, first off, I just want to say I went to 17 schools in my life.
Wow.
When we were little, my mom moved us away from here, and we traveled all across Washington. We lived in Oregon, we lived in California, and it was definitely an adventure. When I was 15, I came home. However, we always were home, because this is, our lives were in Tulalip, with our family. And so we got, we would show up on a Greyhound bus, and my grandma worked out, across the parking lot at the BIA from the Greyhound bus station. And so us 5 kids would show up and pedal on over to her office, and we would sit in her car until she,
was ready to go.
Was ready to go, and then she would bring us to Tulalip or Marysville. A lot of times our home base was our Grandpa Sam's place.
So you moved back to Tulalip, but where did you go to high school?
I went to high school actually in Spokane at Rogers High, and then from there, when I came here, I actually quit school.
Okay.
Yeah. It was going to so many schools was extremely hard.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was more of a survival. And so my mom said, if you're not going to go to school, you need to go get a job. And so I went down to the tribe and didn't really know what to do. And I just walked in and said, can I talk to somebody about a job? And, I'm not of age.
Yeah.
And so I was taken upstairs to a beautiful lady named Maureen Hoban, and from there she enrolled me into a culinary class that the Everett Community College was holding, and it was a cooking school down at the old Potlatch Hall.
Wow.
And we would actually make lunches, and then on Fridays we'd have a big old huge buffet, I learned all the basics of what you would learn in culinary school.
That's cool. And who would you feed?
We would feed our elders.
Okay,
they would come.
that's cool.
Yeah, our elders would come in their van, and many would drive in, and there it was full.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that was probably the best job I've ever held.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you said you moved back when you were 15. Did your siblings come or just you?
Well, my sister and it was just me and Clayton at home, my older brother, and the rest of them were already here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was the trooper staying home with my mom.
Yeah. And you just decided it was time, or what brought you back?
Well, I came to visit that summer and spent the summer with my sister, and I went home, and it was time for me to come home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was one of the last to be able to experience being home and living here, and so that's what I did.
And how long was the culinary program you were in?
Well, it was actually almost a year,
Okay.
and I was trying to think about that last night, but it was really close to a year, and because right after, in the middle of it, Sheila West, she was actually the culinary teacher in this program. Anyway, the tribe asked her to manage the deli in the bingo hall.
Okay.
And so, of course, we got a new instructor, and then so when we, of course, had to be interviewed from the whole board of directors to be a deli worker.
Times have changed.
Oh, times have changed, yeah. But I had no problem with it. I was very comfortable. Anyway, so she was a great leader. Mm-hmm. She was a great leader, and but I get a lot of my skills from the elders that I actually worked with in the deli, so Barbara Chair, Loretta Contrero, and I'm so honored to be able to work with them. Wayne Williams, definitely my mentor, and even Sheila West. She gave me the skills, to be a young leader then, and a few years after, I got the director job. Back then they called me manager, but anyway, he said to me one time on the phone, he said, I'm really sorry I held you back, and I didn't understand what he meant. And I asked him, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, they were trying to, in the deli, they were trying to, make me a leader. Mm-hmm. And I actually was a supervisor for a little time, but, I just, I was so young, you know, and I didn't really realize they just didn't need me anymore, is what I thought. Mm-hmm. And he told him he didn't want them to ruin me too young.
Oh.
It's really what it was. Yeah. And that I needed to go get that experience.
And who was it that did that?
Wayne Williams.
Wait, it was Wayne.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just, of course I'm laughing on the phone saying, well, thank you very much. Because I really think that I probably wouldn't be here if I didn't get to go learn the different experiences, But how I got to where I am now, it was deli, gift shop, floor worker, cashier, desk assistant, bingo caller, session supervisor.
Okay.
That was the life experience what I needed. Mm-hmm. I needed to know everything about all the jobs.
So how old were you when you went to bingo?
I was 16.
You were?
Oh yeah, I was. Okay. Yeah, I was probably close to being 17.
17, okay.
Yeah.
And then you were there for how long?
Well, I know I was in the deli for a couple of years because I was about 19 when I moved on.
And what'd you do?
I went and worked they had a little gift shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I worked in there for just a little while. Mm-hmm. And then I got pregnant with my second son. And I decided I was going to be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. How long did you do that for?
10 months.
Oh.
And so today, if I didn't decide to be a stay-at-home mom, I would have had a full 39 years in service. But because I have a break in service.
You're 10 months.
Yeah, it was a 10-month break. And so, today I have 34. In April, I'll have 34 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
We will take a quick break and we'll be back with more Hibulb Conversations. Welcome back to Hibulb Conversations. I'm Michelle Hernandez and we're here with Tammy Taylor. Welcome back, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you again for sharing your life with us. So after your 10-month adventure of being a stay-at-home mother, you went back to work. Where did you go?
Absolutely went back to work. I actually went back to work as a floor worker.
Okay.
And that was
for the bingo?
Yeah, for bingo. And that was, I was very short-lived in that position just because, I moved right up as a cashier. Mm-hmm. And then I cashiered for a short time and then moved right into a bingo caller. That was probably the least fun job.
Really?
That I had. Yeah, sitting up there with all those people looking at you is...
Calling the numbers?
Yeah, and it's really what it is those little old ladies that you just love that just made you a baby blanket, and then they're saying
Giving
really
you the side eye.
no, giving you, saying really bad things, and you're going, oh my Lord.
You're not calling their number.
Yeah, not calling their number. But no, and then so from there I moved into the position as a desk assistant, which I absolutely loved, and I got to work with Mary Jo and Elizabeth and Shelley Brown and Barry Hatch and many other great people. And then from there, I went in to be a session supervisor. Yeah. And today we call that position a shift manager. And so as a session supervisor, and in the midst of the time, Wayne Williams, I think he was there about 11 years. He retired, and then Mary Jo James stepped into the role.
And where was the bingo located at this time?
Oh, the bingo is located on 31st Street.
Okay.
Yeah, the existing old Q.
Okay.
Yeah, very old building.
And then at what point did you and the casino share a building at one point?
Yes, we did. And that was probably a year before I became the manager.
Okay.
And Mary Jo was the manager at that time, and so bingo merged with the casino.
You occupied a brand new building.
Well, yeah. Well, we actually had a 1,250 seat bingo hall, and we went down to 850 seats to bring into the casino, which was the best thing our tribe ever did. I mean, look at us today.
Yep.
It's just amazing, the leadership that we had and what we have today to keep this growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from there, we actually moved out of there and renovated the old Hewlett Packard building, and that was some really good times. Me and my team, we physically did the cleaning and the scrubbing and the painting, moving all of our furniture in, just to have a place, a temporary location so we can have time to build a new bingo hall, and in which we did, and that's where we are currently located on 88th Street.
We say that we built the casino to employ tribal members. How many do you think we've employed throughout the years?
Oh my Lord. Well, I know for bingo alone, even in 1983, there was about 85 employees. We call them team members today, of course, but there was 85 employees, and today, pre-COVID, we were, higher than in that, almost, well, not too much higher, but say 90. And then today, right now, just bingo alone, we have about 50.
Wow, that's good.
Yep.
So you were in the old Hewlett Packard building, and how long did it take to build?
It took less. It took a year.
Okay.
It took a year. We moved in there in '99, and then in 2000 we moved in to our current site. Actually, the date was February 28th.
Oh.
Yeah. So we just celebrated our 23 years in that location.
Okay.
So we've actually been in our location longer than we have been. Then bingo's existed.
Yeah, and you worked your way up by working in every position. And who was there with you throughout the time?
Well, Shelley Brown. She is a spouse of a tribal member, Elliot Brown, and then Diane Charles. Diane actually was the assistant manager to Wayne Williams, and she actually moved on to other ventures, but then she ventured back to the casino and worked in tribal gaming, finance first, and then of course tribal gaming and then finance, and she was the leader there in finance with the auditors, and so one of my assistant directors moved on, and she was. I just asked her if she wanted to come over and work with me, and she did, and we worked for many years together, and smart lady, great lady to work with, and I sure miss her today, but she's enjoying her retirement.
Oh. You talk about Wayne Williams being a mentor. Who else did you have to lean on?
Well, it was kind of like a sponge, going in as a as a new manager, I really didn't feel like I was qualified. And as far as like budgets and the different things that I never, I didn't know about them because I never seen them, never worked with them. And so then I come to find out, I kind of had to learn all that on my own.
Yeah.
We all kind of did.
Yep.
And, but I think the one thing that, it is the one thing that is the reason why we're still here today, is there were some documents in the storage unit when I became the manager, and in these boxes were these analysis. They were Wayne's analysis. He analyzed every blackout, every 3 on regular, single, double, whatever we sold, any paper and he analyzed that to make sure that we were making profit.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I took those analysis, and I had those boxes in my office because I felt like it was bad luck if I got rid of them, because it grew me. I studied them on my own, and I learned.
Yeah. And how did that change the way you were doing bingo?
Well, of course, it made us more successful.
Yeah.
And you look around right now, the only bingo halls that are even in comparison to us is Native American halls. You got BJ's, you got Muckleshoot. And then you have, we're high stakes, and then you have a lower stake, which is like 2/20th. And then you go down another level, and that's where you have the church, and the charities. And there's very little. However, right now, there is some senior centers that are starting up who've never had bingo before. And so we need that,
So as we're talking about other bingo halls, I know that they're almost, it seems like a thing of the past. How have we kept our people coming back for 39 years?
Well, I think that our guests feel very safe. They feel very safe when they come in. They're part of our family. We're their family. They're our family.
Yeah.
And that's the atmosphere. They come in, and we have fun games. We have high stakes. I mean, you win $10,000, $15,000,
Wow.
$30,000. $1,000 regular games on the weekends, or it's just fun. But I think the most part of it is the nucleus is that we are a family atmosphere, and even though we're not real small, we're not real large either.
Yeah.
And but we have so many dedicated team members that have been there for so many years, and it's because the love that they have for their jobs. It's the love that they have for their team members that they work with, and their love of their guests. They're their family, and so that would probably be the highlight of why we're still successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for telling us about bingo and its history. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Hibulb Conversations. Welcome back to Hibulb Conversations. Today we're here with Tammy Taylor. Thanks for being here, Tammy, and
Happy to be
telling us
here.
all about bingo. So over your time, your 29, 39 years with bingo, how have you seen the game of bingo change?
Wow. So in 1983, we actually opened up Tulalip Bingo, and it was Tulalip Entertainment Center, actually, is
Okay.
what it was named back then. We opened up with bingo flipped cards.
Oh.
So we had a blue was regular pay, green was double pay, and gray was triple pay. And they were a little shuffle.
I love those.
Yeah. And so, and of course we played with bingo paper. And then before we left the old Q site in 1999, we actually brought on some electronics bingo devices. And since then, of course, we've gone through different, as they, as they've grown and had, where you can offer more things in the electronic bingo devices. And so today we have about 230 devices that sit on our floor for customers to,
In addition with paper?
yeah, in addition to paper. We don't have the flip cards anymore. Those kind of went away.
Okay.
Although I sure would love to have one every now and then. Have them for promotion, a fun old promotion or something.
Gotta find some.
Yeah. they're hard to find now. And but yeah, and then you know, on the bingo side, you know, of course we're electronics, but then on the slot side, right now we have 230 slot machines, and we actually have a bar that we brought in about 4 years ago, which was really much needed to complement our guests that wanted to stay for a while.
Yeah.
You know, bingo would get out and they would run to the slots. Well, there was nothing there for them. They would, you know, like to have a, you know, a cocktail or a beverage. And so we made some changes 4 years ago and brought in a bar. And we have a wonderful deli. We have a really good deli. They have great food. And we get a lot of people that comment, and you know, it's just the locals love us.
When did you bring in slot machines?
Well, before we had these games, they were Mega Mania. It was a bingo based game, and we had those. We actually opened up in 2000 on 88th Street, where we currently are, with those machines. And we probably were just maybe about 4 or 5 years into it there, when I just knew we could bring in Class 2 slot machines. And so I pursued it, and we brought in, you know, 100, and I want to say like 140, and then Mega Mania went away, and I'll tell you, it was a great thing. We just expanded, and it has made our property very successful. And bingo has the latest and greatest of the machines. So, you know, first they would try. A lot of vendors would you know, make their games in Class 2, and then they would become Class 3 machines. So we actually would have games that maybe weren't sitting on a Class 3 slot floor, the casino floor. And but I mean, today, you know, we have games that, you know, pay out $90,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
What kind of things does bingo do for tribal members?
Well, pre-COVID, we had annual tribal events.
Night,
And it was always the last Monday of April. And so we're going to be skipping it this year again. And hopefully next year we'll be able to bring that back. But besides Tribal Elder Day, which is twice a month, that is my favorite 2 days of the whole month I look forward to. Our elders come in. They play bingo. They get a visit with each other. The atmosphere is giggly, and so that's my favorite days of bingo. And then when we have our tribal events, you get to see everybody you love. Everybody. And you know, we have to hold. The last time we held 3 sessions because there's so many.
I remember the first one.
And so I'm excited to be able to get back to that.
What has bingo meant for the tribe?
Oh, wow. It's just another outlet. It's just another arm, you know, of you know, and we need more arms, you know, to the success for our tribe, for our membership. But I can tell you, every year, you know, when we're creating budgets and when we exceed or not exceed our budgets, you know, we can say why. You know, why didn't we make this, and why did we exceed? And I think that, you know, the success is, it's us, you know, and it's for our people. It's because the harder we work, the more services we have. And that is so important that we need more services.
Right. With growing membership. You've been a manager for a long time. I know that your team adores you. And how have you made bingo feel like family?
Well, I can tell you, I love Mondays and I love Fridays. I love going to work every day and seeing our membership come in, give them the tools they need to be better, and moving them on to other jobs, higher paying jobs. And there's been a lot of leaders that have came out of bingo.
Tell me about some of those success stories.
Oh, wow. Well, Marcy Freiberg, she's actually who I report to. Love her. She's the best boss, and my friend, of course, but she's my boss, and she's very successful, and I'm very proud of her. Dawn Hagness, Ipper Brisbois,
All started at bingo?
All started at bingo.
Yeah. In the deli?
April started in the gift shop.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I know she started in the gift shop. And yeah, both Marcy and Don started in the deli.
Okay. And have you had any employees stay the entire time throughout your career?
Yeah. Well, let's see, Shelley Brown, she retired at 36 years.
Okay.
Pre-COVID.
Wow.
Marilyn Flores, she retired once we came back from COVID at 37 years.
Wow.
Could be almost 38. So, and then, but we still have one shining star out there, and that's Cindy Whitley. And Cindy works down at the finance department down at the tribe. And she sent me an email about 2 weeks ago, and she says, next year it's going to be 40 years. I can't believe it, and I'm still going to be working, Tammy. And so I'm like calling her on the phone, and we giggled and had a fun visit.
Yeah.
But it was just, I had to honor her, you know. I mean, she has 39 years. She was the last one,
Right.
you know, that started in 1983.
Yeah, aside from you.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, so it's fun to have that rank with her.
I love that.
Proud of her.
Yeah. Looking back, is there anything that you think you'd do differently or you would like to have changed?
Oh, yeah. Well, we all look within ourselves and it's like, gosh, if I could have changed anything, I think if I had more of an opportunity, I think I would have personally liked to have a little more training as far as, you know, just to be a better manager, better leader, better director, you know. But on the flip side, it's kind of hard too because, you know, we all have our personalities and, you know, I come from a really strong side of, you know, women. So, yeah, I kind of bear that.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. I've really enjoyed sitting with you and hearing your story, how you worked your way up through the bingo hall and your adventure as a stay-at-home mom. You've become such an amazing manager and mentor for our bingo and for our tribal membership. So I'd like to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we appreciate you taking the time to share your story with us.
It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for watching Hibulb Conversations. I'm Michelle Hernandez. Until next time.